Welcome back, everyone, to an odd episode of Film Shilm.
Oh my god.
That's
Yes,
one
guys,
hell of
Very
a
welcome
odd.
back.
start.
Hello.
As you noticed,
If you thought we couldn't get any more broke, we
did.
somehow made sure to prove you wrong.
and we're doing it all
We
over the
got
comfort from
even-
all of our bedrooms right now.
Yeah, we got even more brokey. Okay, we recorded this entire episode previously. We'd done it all. And it was so boring. And it was genuinely
That's not what's happening
That's
here.
exactly what happened. He's right.
That exactly. Basically, what happened was, me being me, I accidentally disconnected the sound mixer thing accidentally while we were playing Mario Kart at Ali's house after we finished filming.
No,
Or in the
during
middle of
filming.
No, it was
During
before we
filming, 'cause
finished
it was
filming,
that
Hussain.
boring. It was that bad of a film that we all had to like take a break for our mental sanity and play Mario Kart. And in the process of that, I accidentally disconnected the sound mixer thing, and I corrupted the sound file.
Nice.
So we had an entire
So-
episode where we discussed this film that none of us quite enjoyed, really. We had to get through it. And when we went home, we got the notification from Ali that the entire episode is useless because the audio file's gone corrupt.
And then the second half,
Essentially.
when the thing turned back on, my whole audio sounds like this.
Oh god.
And it's like I destroyed
Yeah,
the
Ali-
rest of it. So we even had a whole feature fan segment. Sorry, feature fan.
We still have that. I think instead of we have the rest of this episode to crap on the film again, part 2.
Part 2.
So let's
And in
start
case you
crapping on
guys
it.
had any confusion as to what our overview was, I guess this counts as our overview.
Yeah.
It was not good.
It was.
Okay, we're being a little mean. We're too
mean.
It's not a it's not a horrible film. It is just not a film that you would want to watch again. It's a one-time watch. It's one of those films that on cable TV, you're walking by the TV, you see it, you sort of sit down, you're like, oh, it's Denzel. Everyone loves Denzel. I think Denzel is one of the only redeeming factors of this film. Outside
I don't
of
think
the
you can say
main-
one of. I think it's the only.
Oh, Christopher Walken's in there.
This film, no.
This episode's gotten to the point where the people are using my jokes from the destroyed footage.
But into the overview. Ali,
Right.
You ride us through this overview.
Yeah,
Do it.
honestly, I think we were all in pretty much agreement. This is an action movie of all time. It's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
It came out in
It's one
2004.
of them.
And honestly, it's a great theatrical experience. You go there, you watch it once, and then you be like, wow, I had fun at the movies, and then you go home and
Yeah.
you be like, wow, that Denzel made a movie. And then
Can I-
and then you
It
live-
was Denzel.
No, I'm
I
being
have
too
a- I
harsh.
have a
There's a
few
lot of
things.
really good things. It was, I feel like stylistically, it was trying to really push its a style. Regardless if we didn't like it or not, it was. I think it should be commended that it tried to have a distinct visual style.
True.
The epilepsy that was trying to give its audience, but
that is one thing. That is one of my biggest gripes in the notes I made when watching the film, and I didn't bother watching it again because why would I? The notes that I made, one of the biggest things was it was. I hated the pacing of the film in terms of the time management, in the sense where, especially, like, you don't have a good sense of time. How long has he been in Mexico? How long has he been protecting them? Especially, that's an overall pacing issue. Then I don't like, because of the way they stylistically with the cameras and that weird zoom in, zoom out, I don't know, the Bollywood effect, that also was so random. Denzel turned around, drew his firearm, and they zoomed in like 20 times, like he was, he was the star of like a budget Tamil action
No.
movie. It
Have
don't
you
give
guys
Tamil
seen?
movies a
yeah.
bad
Have you
name.
guys seen? Have you guys
some of
seen
them are
those?
some of them are bangers.
Edits?
Some of them are great.
Have you guys seen
Some of them
those
are.
edits where it's like, oh, it's like Harry Potter, but it's edited like a Bollywood film?
right.
Yeah.
Like those
Yeah.
memes, right? You could take
was
this
that.
movie and say Man on Fire but edit it as a Bollywood film and just take an actual clip from Man on Fire
And no one would know.
and no one would know. They'll be like, wow, that's
No one
really
would
funny.
know.
That's not edited. That's actually from the film.
To all the people in the audience, I want to reiterate when we were doing this the first time, we were not this critical. The fact that we concluded all of our remarks and coerced each other on how we do not we do not like this movie. We're extra critical now, but I trust you.
I'll tell you
All of us
something.
go in with
You're
an open
absolutely
mind.
right. He's right. I remember when we filmed this the first time, we were like, yeah, it's a good film. It's an all right, it's a good film. And the second we stopped recording, we were like, it was a good film. Look, no, it wasn't that we were being dishonest on camera. No, it was a good film the first time. The only reason we're being extra critical of it right now, because we have to talk about it a second time.
That's it. That's basically it.
To be fair, we said we were gonna film at. So to be fair, we said we were gonna film at 9. It's 10:30. We did nothing for this hour and a half. We just tried to fix. Because now the thing is we're this is our first episode over Discord, so I want to give the fans like all the in-depth stuff. Every time we filmed, there's always been a new aspect to our equipment. It's either been new cameras, new location, new this, new that, and today it's new everything. Because none of us we've never filmed from our own home, so this is like it took us an hour and a half to figure this out. So
And it took us an hour and a half just to figure my stuff out, because this is just my phone on a stand. I got one earpod in. My camera, as you can see, is garbage. It was a hassle to the point where I said I don't even want to film anymore.
First of all, let's talk about the movie itself. It's based off of a book, same name. And
no way.
It itself is a remake of a 1987 film, same title, Man on Fire. Fun fact, I botched it the first time I tried to make this link, so I'm going to try making this link better the second time around. Do you know the I did it again. You know the blind guy from Daredevil? And then I meant the old blind guy. I did it again. I did it again.
And then Mahir's not going to remember what blind guy there was from Daredevil.
For a second, I had forgotten that Daredevil is the blind guy from Daredevil.
Twice?
Okay, no.
This is the second time this has happened.
Okay. Stick, the old blind guy who teaches Daredevil to be Daredevil.
Right.
The actor who plays Stick is the lead actor in the original 1987 Man on Fire.
That's pretty cool.
That's some fun stuff there. On top of everything that we've really crapped on the film, to be fair, the author of the book, the original book, genuinely did like Denzel's take on this film. Like, he liked Denzel's approach to the film. He liked how this film was directed. He liked some of the changes. He appreciated a lot of the one-liners, the really quippy one-liners that Denzel has in this film, which are questionable because of the feel of the film is very different to the quippy nature of those lines. Denzel's this very hardened CIA assassin, and he's going on a murder spree, and then
they feel really out of place.
Anime, like he's throwing in teenager one-liners. He's like, "Revenge is a dish, best served cold." Dun 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 dun.
No, but
coming to your point, Hussain, about this being based off of a book, this was shocking to me because the film starts off with a text that places it in a very realistic scenario, which is like, oh, this many kidnappings a day happen in Latin America. This is the real life. It throws us with some real life statistics. Then the film ends with a birth date and death date of the character of John Creasy. And then after that, we get even a few black and white film stills of the main villain being taken down by another secondary protagonist and saying, oh, on this date, this stuff happened. And I finished the film thinking, wow, what a crazy and fascinating true story, right? And I was like, oh, I wonder what the real true story is about, because that's how it's presented. It's a true story about real stuff that happens in Latin America and Mexico. Yeah. And I go to Google and I find out, so what's the real story behind the film Man on Fire 2004? And I find out there isn't one. Yeah. Because like Hussain mentions, this is actually based off of a book. That's also not based off of anything. And the book is based in Italy.
And that's what I want to make my point on. if it was still in Italy, because right now it's in Mexico City, it's on a very serious topic about child kidnappings and having children being held for ransom. The one-liners that Denzel uses and like the quips that he does after he kills someone, um, would it make more sense in the book's context if it was still in Italy? Like it was what? Like is the kidnapping thing still a thing in the book? If
So to be
Yes.
fair,
Yes,
first of
yes.
all,
So
the book was written in the 80s. Come on, you have to give it to a man who wrote a book, an
it was
action
written in
book in the
1980.
80s.
Yeah.
He's gonna throw in some one-liners.
No, thing is, the issue is it's not that it's the book or film. It's the fact that it's in the realm of fiction. When you know it's fiction, one-liners do not
but
seem out of place.
it's
But
regardless
when
of
you
the
think
the
it's
thing
real
is,
life,
it's the realm of, it's
it's about
it's
tone.
the realm of fiction, but it's about tone, and it's not like the topic isn't fictional. The topic is
Yeah.
very realistic. The topic is something that even to this day,
this day.
South America really does suffer this epidemic of ransom kidnappings and political kidnappings. They even mention in one of the scenes in the movie where they try to equate this, and one of the news reporters is like, no, this is not like the political kidnappings of Colombia, because kidnapping as a source of fear or revenue or just inciting, whatever, is a very prevalent tool in Latin America. And it's a serious, like, it's a real topic, but again, the one-liners felt a little out of place, because again, I think I mentioned this. I have to stop trying to refer to what I said earlier because no one's seen what I said earlier. But Denzel is a phenomenal actor, and it does not suit him well to be childish and inarticulate. And there's certain scenes in this
Childish
movie where
and
I feel that
inarticulate?
Denzel
Inarticulate.
Sorry?
Inarticulate.
inarticulate.
Okay, inarticulate.
So there's certain scenes in this movie, especially, so now we're just gonna go scene by scene, just sort of do, just talk about some stuff. There's that scene where him and Peter are sitting, and she asks him that concubine question, and he gives her a really like mumble jumbled answer. He couldn't really give her a straight answer. And the thing
Right.
is, Denzel Washington, he's not a man that being dumb doesn't suit him. He's a man
Yeah.
whose voice, whose poise, whose stature, and just it doesn't suit him to be dumb. It suits him to be a very quick, like, if you look at, let's say, Training Day. Even in Training Day, he's playing a corrupt cop, but he is not a dumb cop. He is a very thinking 20
very
steps
smart.
ahead kind of guy, right?
Elegant,
Um,
I guess is a good term for it. Isn't it like
even
I
if
guess Tom Hanks can walk in, but considering the way the prestige that Denzel himself he carries,
it's just
like,
his
this guy's been
voice. The
old
man
too.
has such he has a gravitas in his voice.
Exactly.
One of his more recent action movies, the Equalizer series that he does it so well because in that he again plays a CIA hitman. I love Denzel just did this once and he's like, you know what, I'm a lock in, boys. This is where the money is. But
you just want to see me
does
do
it
this
so
shit
well
again.
yeah, but he does it so well in the Equalizer because his character isn't this dumb grunt who is this alcoholic. Like his character is this very seasoned, very well educated, very book smart, street smart veteran. I'm going down a rabbit hole, but I didn't like how Creasy's character. I love Denzel in the movie, but I don't think Creasy necessarily was the best fit for Denzel.
Okay.
If that makes sense. I
Yeah, I
think
get it.
Creasy
Yeah.
let Denzel down. Denzel did not let Creasy down. If anything, Denzel
Yeah.
brought Creasy up to another. Creasy's character as a whole let him down.
And then we could
That's
also
a
talk
good
about,
take.
American exceptionalism in this as well, considering the way Creasy
yes.
comes in from the United States and then
Hardcore.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it
Hardcore.
takes an American to come save the people of Mexico City from all these kidnappings, and all
Yeah.
the Mexican police officers are either corrupt or inept, and it takes this American to come in and save all of them.
And of the parents coming into the twist of the story, which is that the girl character's dad was somewhat involved in this as well.
Yeah, Ramos.
But though
He was fully
misled,
involved.
he was
The man was in
And
it for. He was just a
mind-
degenerate,
Yeah, but the
he's
irony is that the
phenomenal.
only two people in this story that are not involved in any way or completely empty of fault is the American wife and the American babysitter.
Actually, I'll clock you there on something. The guy who was also involved was the American lawyer.
Yeah,
but I think
Foggy
that's
was
just
an
a trope
American.
that he
Wait,
was
was
totally in
American.
on it, but he was an American. But I think that's just the trope of all lawyers as scumbags, and I can say it because I am a lawyer.
Listen,
So you know,
I'm pretty sure B movie said it best. I was already a blood-sucking parasite. All I needed was a briefcase.
Basically, that's a good point. It's a good point.
by the way,
Go
by
on.
the way, my lawyer's briefcase. Now I have some lore to show you because I'm sitting home. This is my lawyer's
Yep.
briefcase.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
very nice.
I was actually hoping for
Very
a light
nice.
brown one, but you know what? I think I dig the dark brown. I
Okay.
think that I dig the dark brown.
I like
That's-
the dark
that's
brown. The
nice.
dark brown goes with a lot more options. But,
I
mean,
prefer
it doesn't.
dark brown. I think it looks much prettier.
Okay, so let's get into how the film starts.
Wait,
I did
let's introduce
like...
feature fan.
Okay.
Let's go back to the past and
my
welcome
God,
Muskan.
By the way, my name is Muskan Malik. I have been recently graduated. I've done BS Media Studies. And
Media
Great,
studies.
basically,
Ali's a media boy. Mahir's a media boy.
so basically, like, I love films. I love making films. I've made few short films. I've acted in a lot of short films.
Wow,
And
wow,
yeah,
wow.
and I really do want to do something into that. I've directed a one film, but mostly acted in in films. And I just saw you guys doing reviews on films, even though I do not watch Hollywood content. I really don't, but I just loved what you guys were doing. So
Oh
yeah,
my God,
We
thank
really
you.
what I
appreciate
can
it.
tell
Thank
more
you
about
so much.
Thank you so much for that. I'm so sorry that we've got you for this film specifically.
God, yes.
No, it's okay. I loved it. I watched it.
Oh, you loved it. Okay, so we're gonna get into that. We'll
Yeah,
get
I
into
loved it.
Okay, we'll get into that because neither of us really loved the film, but we'll get
For
into that
different reasons,
for
yeah.
different reasons. But we'll get into that. But we want to hear your take. So you loved
Okay.
it. Tell us what you loved about the film.
Basically, like, to be honest, why I like the film, I like films that have an emotional arc. I actually
Okay.
do. So that's the reason I like the film. And the main character, Creasy, right? If I'm
Yeah.
not wrong with the name, even though I watched it last night. But
All of us
I
do.
I like how great his character was. Maybe it's not like a great cinematic film, usually how Hollywood films are, but you could see the one thing I loved it that how the past he had and the present he had and the how he was stuck with his past. And there's this one scene where he's drinking and he's also, like, on the Bible. And I just loved how contradicting his character was somewhere.
Okay.
I feel.
That's a good way to look at it. That's a really good way to look at it.
One thing I didn't like about the film, before, the part where the girl gets kidnapped, but before that, they could have shown a gradual growth in their relationship. Like, in one
Yeah.
moment, they were just like, like, oh, I don't, I'm not interested in this girl. And in just in few minutes, he's like, oh, so attached. I think they could have
I actually
add
have
more depth.
a clip on
I
this.
really felt that was needed.
I agree.
So
I
that's
agree.
one thing I didn't like about it.
The pacing was a little off
In the first hour and
building
14
up,
Yeah.
minutes. Yeah.
which that's pretty good.
It didn't make sense that he just like, one moment he had nothing for that girl, and in the end he sacrifices himself for her.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
It was
I
rushed.
Yeah, that's the downside of movies in general.
maybe they could have shown, over a few months, or he gradually, because he spent so much time with her, had this feeling or attachment with her,
Right.
or they could have linked his past, like, with something like about his past. Maybe
Yeah.
had
Yes.
because he was
That's a good point.
could have
100%.
done
I think
experimented with that.
Exactly.
That's a really good point.
Because
that
there's a lapse of time, right?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
absolutely correct. There's
Yeah.
it's such a weird understanding of time and how it goes
the
forward.
the thing where the parents leave her alone for a few days, which is where we get those scenes of bonding. That's only
Yes.
for a few days.
This is
Right?
this is actually his first film I watched. I didn't know him
Oh.
before. I don't
Oh,
have a lot of
You gotta watch a lot of.
Yeah.
You gotta watch
Denzel-
more Denzel films than
My
watch
God.
Training Day.
Training
I
Day
haven't.
is a phenomenal
This is
film.
by far the worst
thing is-
Denzel movie.
This is the worst Denzel film ever.
But watch
the
Training
thing
Day.
is,
That's one of the best.
I actually don't watch Hollywood films at all. That's why I don't know the
American
actors.
Gangster.
I know them by
American
faces.
Gangster
You're
is
the
a
literal
great
opposite
Denzel
of me.
film.
I can't watch Bollywood films. It's rough.
I am completely into Bollywood films.
Oh my god, you go absolute. The
Opposite.
dichotomy
Yeah, yeah,
is
yeah.
beautiful. I love it. I love it.
So, any closing remarks on the film?
It is a good one time watch
Yeah.
film. Like
It's
you
a
can watch
one-time
it once,
watch.
but
That's
it's a good, yeah, it's a one-time watch for sure.
You're
But
right.
it's a
You're absolutely
good
right.
one-time watch. It's like
Mm.
not a boring film or like just have to watch it. It's a
Yeah, I
good
wouldn't
one-time
call it
watch.
boring
From
either.
Exactly. It's like
coming
if
from a
you
person who from me who doesn't watch such films at all, it's not a bad one.
like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
wouldn't
So
be
I guess
disappointed if you
I
went to a
would
theater
I
and you
would
watched it.
yeah.
I would give it a
I would.
3.5 stars out of 5.
Okay, that's a
Okay.
Yeah,
good
that's
letterbox
a fine
film.
rating.
Yeah.
That's a good rating
Yeah,
for
that's a
this.
good rating.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Muskan. This was great. This was
Thank you
lovely.
for inviting me. It
Of
was
course.
great, guys.
No, thank you. And we
Okay,
hope you have a good rest of your day, good rest of your weekend.
Yeah.
thank
All
you.
right.
Acha.
I have a few specific things. One of them is about this line that Creasy says to Rayburn during their first scene, which is, "Do you think God will forgive us for all the sins we've committed?" Which is always this interesting sort of trope that they play off with these ex-hitmen, especially ex-intelligence officer hitmen, where you're serving your country, you're serving your state, and they're making you do these horrible things, and now you're sitting there going, "Oh my God, will God forgive me?" And it's always this thing where I'm like, sure, if you were like a cartel hitman, or if you, I'm like, okay, fine, you could sit there with this, like, wow, we'll go. But if you're going to serve the state, you made a very active choice to do this. You made a very active choice. It gets old quick
Right.
sometimes. I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
a lot of guys, I'm not saying I've spent a lot of time with special forces hitmen, but I've spent enough time with a lot of military officers or people who've served, and a lot of them have this consensus where it's like, yeah, sometimes we may have had to do slightly messed up things, we may have had to do whatever, but we all did it in the service of our countries, respective countries, whatever countries they were serving. And a lot of them, if they don't take pride in it, they're at peace with it. Not everyone. I'm 100% there are 100% there are going to be soldiers or officers or whatever out there who are not at peace with the things they did. But it's this trope that they put on everyone, where you're just like, "Oh wow,
Yeah. Yeah.
you're an ex-CIA hitman, you must be guilty for the things you did," or "You're an ex-MI6 guy, you must be guilty for it." It gets a little annoying, it gets a
Yeah.
little boring.
Yeah, it's like all of these post-Iraq war films that came out of Hollywood. Oh,
It's
I
not
feel
even
so bad for shooting
post-Iraq,
children.
it-
You shot
Yeah.
the child, dude. Like, what are
Yeah,
you
that's true.
talking about?
Yeah, and it also really craps on a lot of servicemen and servicewomen's service in the military, where a lot of them didn't commit war crimes. A lot of them just did like a good job, So
Yeah,
an
basically
interesting
creates
one
this
as a
very bad
movie, I
idea
really
that
like.
all of them are like this.
Say that again?
Sorry.
It does create this very bad image that, all of them are like this. All of them are evil in some way, or all of them are heartless in some way.
The shaky cam in this film was, I am not the worst, like, I'm not the biggest hater of shaky cam. I think shaky cam can
I
be
am.
used well. You are. Jason Bourne is a good example in my mind, and for one reason. Shaky cam only really works if it's for hand-to-hand combat scenes.
CQC
Shaky
stuff.
cam cannot work for now, CQC is close quarter combat. That's still, you could use guns in that, but I'm talking
Right.
specifically hand-to-hand combat scenes. So it's just like, if you look at all the Jason Bourne films, the Bourne trilogy, a lot of that shaky cam is used when he's fighting, because they want to give that feeling of it's a high adrenaline. It's crazy. It's all over the place. And they want to hide maybe not hide sloppy choreography, but it can be used to hide sloppy choreography. Yeah, there's a lot of, this movie utilizes, Ali, there's that game you referenced, and I forget
Max
the name
Payne
of the game you
3.
referenced.
That's the first
It's
thing
that
I thought
effect.
of. Like, Max Payne
Yeah,
3
it's
came
that
out in
effect.
like 2012, where it was just all the cutscenes had this. It was not shaky cam, but it was like the image is splitting. There's a double exposure. There's
Color splitting.
color splitting. There's RGB effect.
Oh my
There's
God, he's just thinking about things.
so it's
To be
it's
fair, we're
rough.
past Ali's bedtime, so you have to give him a minute to
It's
process
buffering.
words.
It's like a YouTube video.
But yeah, no, I did not appreciate it, because this is the thing I was saying earlier. It really takes you out of the thing, and it takes you out of the scene, it takes you out of the movie. And one of the biggest scenes that I have a gripe with was when Peter's getting kidnapped and the shooting starts. Because of all those nasty cuts, you cannot actually physically tell in the scene where characters are. You don't know if Peter's 3 streets down. You don't know if she's 2 feet away from him. You don't know if she's standing right on top. So it's a horrible for spatial awareness. And when there's no spatial awareness in a movie that is like, oh my God, they're going to kidnap her any second. Maybe we should know where she is. It defeats the purpose. So it's just like, you know.
Yeah. Do we have that clip,
It's like,
Ali?
again, what?
I don't have that clip, unfortunately.
I asked if we have that clip.
No.
It's fine. It'll take too long to whip it out. But a good scene, a good comparison would be when Taken did their kidnapping scene. When they did their Taken scene. You knew exactly where everyone was in the apartment. You knew where everyone was. You knew where she was hiding. So you had that spatial awareness. Oh, they're coming into this bedroom. She's under this bed.
So
all that stuff.
I wanted to bring up a filming technique because I guess it makes it easy for you both to understand. In classic Hollywood, ideologies and training, what you usually do is have 180-degree rule. So imagine if my microphone and this card case are like two characters. Like, oh my, that's a terrible example because I need to use my microphone. But imagine there's two people like this, right? They're facing each other. The camera can only be on one side and 180 degrees of that side unless it's motivated to move to the other side. Simply because...
You know the example, an easier example, Ali, is, Hussain, when you're watching a football match, your camera is only on one side of the field. So you know that one team's goal is on the other side and one team's goal is on the other side. If they suddenly flip the camera to the other end of the field, it would take you out of it.
Exactly. If they're constantly...
100%.
The same team is constantly kicking to the left side or the same team is constantly kicking to the right side. Like, did the half even happen? Did they switch? What happened? You know?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So that's the 180 rule. And this film does not really use it very properly. I want to talk about because we're on the editing aspect. So all my clips are about editing, so I can get this.
Okay.
So Ali, if you could pull up my first timestamp, which was 1 hour at 1 hour 20 minutes.
Here is the clip.
Profited from it. Anybody who opens their eyes at me, I'm gonna kill them.
Yeah. Okay. That was the clip. That was the whole clip.
We can talk now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if any of you thought that that's some cool YouTube edit, that's not. That's an actual shot from the film. When I was watching this, I cringed so hard because it reminded me of those, Heisenberg, Walter White edits, which just has the audio in the background going, I am the danger. It's just speed cuts of him being, badass or edgy.
He's
And
trying to
this
aura
is literally
farm. That's the Gen
he's
Z
aura
term,
farming
bro.
here, literally.
He's trying to aura farm.
The dialogue you hear in the background is a dialogue that he said to the child's, Peter's mom, Lisa. And I don't know why that randomly just came up. And then there's suddenly flashes like he's some... I hate this editing style. I'm sorry. It felt like literally, it's so cringe and it's trying so hard to be like this badass thing. And then immediately, could you pull up the second clip, which is a sequence of this?
It's literally right
of the
afterwards.
same
Let's do it.
scene.
Oh my God, this
Hang on.
scene.
It's so loud.
Revenge is a meal best served cold.
Huh? And it just blows up.
So let's.
Oh, wait.
take this scene by. Let's take.
Okay, then he goes into a pool.
Also, by the way, what was
Let's
that
take
obsession
this
with him
shot-
going into the pool? But we get to that
Let's
in a
take
minute.
this shot by shot. Let's take this shot by shot. So immediately you have the car going downhill and flashing like it's a Bollywood badly edited.
my
Not even
God,
Bollywood,
yeah.
honestly. I mean, it's just one of those edits that's like, oh, if it was made in India kind of thing. But we all know it's not actually like that. But anyways, it's so
Yeah.
badly edited. And then suddenly the car on its own flips 180 degrees for no reason. How did that happen? We don't know. And then you have Denzel saying, revenge is a dish best served cold.
Yeah.
What? Where? It's not even in the moment. It's him with Christopher Walken in the car. So he's just
Like,
randomly
imagine-
saying that.
They were sitting in silence for like
Reminiscing.
15 minutes, and there he goes. And then Christopher Walken just driving goes, What
Christopher
are you
Walken turns out
talking
goes,
about?
"What did you say?" And it's just,
Denzel, are you
even the
okay?
depth. And then you have the scene where it just right before it hits the ground, you can
Okay.
see that there are people in the background playing volleyball. The car does not actually crash on the ground. There is an explosive on the ground that blows up, and the
then a
car
car
is
magically
composited in
appears.
there.
No, there's a magic trick, man. My favorite part about this scene, though, is that it rolls off and it randomly flips, and we don't see it. It just
Yeah.
it's just like
It just decides. You know what? I think this is the way I want to fall. It just.
He goes. It's like you know how in cartoons, in our cartoons, if somebody dies, they just sort of keel over, and it literally goes off a cliff. It goes, looks down at the ground, goes, "Eh," and it falls down.
No, I think I see where they're going because it's like a cliff. It was supposed to have gone like this, but it's perfectly 180 degrees on his back. It's not like if it was like a
used a crane
bit
to
this
lift it
way,
up and drop
like
it.
I'd get it, but it was not that way.
And also, like, cars don't randomly blow up. I
Yeah,
think people
no.
forget the fact.
And especially
Cars,
if it
like,
lands
you
on
can
its
put
hood.
a car. Yeah, you could put a car in a crusher and won't blow up.
They
Like
don't,
cars just don't randomly combust. So yeah, just fun.
They
fun
kind
stuff.
of do combust multiple times.
Sometimes
No,
if it's like
it's a
super
combustion
hot.
engine.
Oh shit. Okay.
Oh my
Listen,
God.
we're all a little tired and we don't know what to say. So I was trying to.
combustion engine. It does
Yeah, thank you, Letterbox. Thank you, Letterbox Ali, for that. But no, I want to tie that scene, if we're doing car explosions, into the other scene, which I don't think you've clipped, but I'm just going to talk about it. The C4 up the butt car explosion
Yeah.
scene,
Yeah, why did it?
which...
Okay, I'll let you take lead. Go ahead.
I mean, there's nothing to take lead. First of all, 100%, I think Eric Kripke watched this movie on cable TV. Probably had the same opinion we have, but saw that one scene. He's like, you know what? I'm going to use this somewhere. And then years later, when he started making The Boys, he's like, this is my time to shine.
With the Invisible
and he just
Man.
did it. And yeah, and he shoved some C4 up the Invisible Man's ass.
You know what's
So,
crazy about that scene, though? When that guy blows up,
What?
the car blows up before the guy does. So I don't
That's
think it was
true.
up
So,
his butt.
I don't think it was up his butt.
Really?
And also, again, I'm not an explosives
yeah, I'm not even
expert.
joking. It really did.
Yeah.
The car blew up before the guy did.
And I'm not an explosives expert, but I don't think the amount of C4 that could go up a man's butt is the equivalent of the C4 that you need to blow up a car to that. That was a massive explosion.
Cool guys never
Okay.
look at explosions, okay, Hussain? He was walking
That was the
away.
best.
He was
Can I tell you
aura farming.
something, Denzel? Denzel really did. Okay, honestly, he did in that one scene, but that was probably the only. There's like 3 scenes where Denzel aura farmed. The rest of it, I hated the club scene where he tried to blend in and be all hip and he wore the stupid bandana. He looked so dumb. He looked so dumb. Like he was trying to be like, I'm one of the cool Mexico City nightlife goers and we're gonna go. Man walked in cargo pants, a long sleeved shirt, and a bandana. He just threw on a bandana on his normal fit and he was like, have you seen the meme of the guy who's like, what up, my fellow young? Like, what's the thing with the skateboard?
Oh,
Steve
fellow
Buscemi.
teenager is Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, what up, my fellow millennial? I don't know what he says in that line, but
Fellow
it's just
kids.
that scene.
He goes, hello,
Fellow
teenagers.
kids. He just throws on a bandana. He goes, "What up, my fellow kids?" That I hated that. So I think there were only 3 times or 4 times in this entire film he aura farmed, and that's it. One of those scenes was the RPG scenes. The RPG scene was
Oh my God.
pretty. It was so stupid. By the way, I need to talk about that. She says in the film that the corrupt cop who gets butt exploded later on in the film.
Butt-sploded,
The corrupt
mind you.
cop butt exploded.
Butt exploded.
He is more protected than the president of Mexico, according to this lady. And this man shows up in a 2-car motorcade. It's his car. It's 1 car in front of him, and it's 1 car behind him. I have.
And in his own car, mind you, in his own car, he's sitting in the front seat and there's a driver next to him.
Yeah, yeah. I love how this is his version of the most protected man in Mexico. I'm just like,
We
good
have
girl.
more
No.
protection to like minor politicians on the roads that they close off all the roads for.
To be fair, I am not a weapons expert. I wouldn't think a rocket would leave like an RPG would leave a crater like that. Again, I don't know. I don't own RPGs. I ain't going around popping them off. You know, rest in peace, my granny. She got hit
We
by.
need Mythbusters to make an episode about if an RPG will make a crater like that.
One day when we have enough money, we're gonna
We'll
buy an
put-
old Soviet or Chinese RPG, and we're just gonna pop them off in the ground, and we're gonna recreate. We're gonna Mythbusters this movie. We're gonna
We start
Mythbusters the movie.
mythbustering stuff from movies we watch. There's like a whole segment that we start
down.
afterwards.
I'm down. Listen, we get a little bit more budget, guys. Patreon supporters, please.
No, the first thing we're gonna
send us some
do
money.
is recreate that Jesse James scene and completely try to
my
actually
God.
hit our shots.
On each other.
Yeah.
So that's the first and the last thing we ever do is as like we just all hit our shots and then it just cuts to our funeral scene, just like tongue.
This is the way. This is the way.
Ali's gonna be going like Hussain, Hussain, talk, talk.
Oh man.
That's so dumb.
All right.
Anyways,
We are dumb.
Georgina, obey me. I will love you.
That's how it works, huh? Simple. Right.
why does Denzel look like a goat?
Munchino. It's the beard, bro. Denzel is the goat.
He is the goat.
How's business? Japanese.
Huh? I don't remember this. I think I couldn't hear it the first time around. What do you mean? Japanese.
Listen, he's
Japanese.
Christopher Walken, bro. He could say anything he wants and he gets away with it, brother.
Man, I love him. I love him. What a lesson.
I love him. All right, so that's scene one. We
Let's
get
go
to the
to
other
season
two, and then
two.
I'll get into my point. This is the AFI director, the Federal Investigation Agency for Mexico, walking into a hospital with a box of pastries.
When I heard it was this hospital, I was so pleased. There is a pastry shop nearby. Delgados. They are the best pastries in Mexico. I'm Miguel Manzano, director of the AFI, and a former director of Interpol.
Do they qualify him as someone like competent?
You are?
But he does nothing the whole
Under
movie.
his
Nice.
Rayburn.
That's true. He just sleeps with the reporter, and then he gets sad because
Hey,
in one scene,
listen. That recorder
listen,
kinda
she was
bad.
fine, too.
Oh my god.
that
Oh
reporter was
my
kind of
god,
so.
dude.
The thing is, all he did was he was like, "Oh, we sleep together," and then she had to clarify, "No, I fuck you for information. We don't sleep." Like it hurt. That kind of broke his heart a little bit because he thought there was a bit of an emotional bond there, and she was like, "Nah, this is all transactional, buddy." Anyway, third scene.
And the
There we go.
kidnappers took that away. Huh?
Yeah, it's good. It's good now. It's
And they're
good.
gonna wish they never touched the hair on her head. A man
There it is.
can be an artist. And anything, food, whatever. It depends on how good he is at it. Creasy's art is dead.
God damn it.
He's about to paint his masterpiece.
Ah.
Again,
okay.
this was directly from the book. This was just an homage to the book. This scene suits like just this line. This line was better placed than the "Revenge is a dish best served cold." That was horribly placed. That came out of nowhere. But let me get to my
Yeah,
point about
yeah.
the food. The reason I made the viewers watch two scenes of Christopher Walken licking his fingers was because it hit me while I was watching. Food has a very important part in cinema, and not in this generic sense. I actually thought of something while we were just sitting here. First of all, it gives characters, it elevates your performance. It gives characters, it adds a little bit to certain characteristics, acting styles. Christopher Walken is a very physical actor. He likes big hand gestures, hand movements. You see, even when he wants to do the little aura farming, he goes to dip his finger in so he gets a little action going on and he can play around with it. Because I feel like you can take any big movie. I think important dialogues and important bits of information, exposition, whatever, or farming moments, they're all dumped over with food scenes because it gives the viewers something to lock onto, so their eyes aren't diverted. Because it's not an action scene, it's not a love-making scene, it's not anything, but it's something. You have to give them something. You can't just randomly sit across each other and just deliver lines. Even in that scene, again, we mentioned The Godfather, and I just hit that scene where Robert Duvall's character, the consigliere, Tom Hagen, has to tell the Godfather that his son is dead. He does it over a drink. You know, the boys, when they're discussing some stuff, they're doing it over Chinese food about how they're going to whack the police captain. Anyway,
I think your point about how it's sort of like a power play, I think that comes into the fact that if a character is in a serious situation or if there's a very gruesome situation, for example, the AFI director, he shows up, there's a hospital, and he's eating nonchalantly. It creates this aura of, oh, I am unfazed or not disgusted because I'm so desensitized to something like this. I've seen this so many times that it's just
That's
a
also
normal
true.
Tuesday for me. I think that's what it comes to. It's just like, oh, are you not affected by what's happening? Nah, it's just normal. I have an appetite.
The spirit of cinema is inherently the spirit of continuous, or at least grounded movement, right? That's
Yeah.
why you'll always see some type of like they're having drinks, they're eating Chinese before something. It's just visual candy, but it also grounds something into when you guys say either nonchalantness or haphazardness. Like you mentioned about how the boys, before they whacked the police commissioner, they were eating Chinese food. How something that's so mundane is juxtaposed with something so serious, whereas having drinks with someone else is an inherently serious thing, where it can also be like there's a difference between two people having a cigarette and two people smoking a cigar, right?
Yeah.
It's the visual understanding of this is one has more weight than the other because of how disposable the nature of what they're using is.
oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Uh-huh.
As
No, no,
Hussain
Marshall.
says, he is not a gun expert. Watch him become a gun expert when he talks about his next few points.
You have
all right.
to be fair,
I
if you've played like
Hussain
2 or
goes,
3 video
I'm
games,
not a
you'll
gun
know.
expert. However,
I've always had this little curious mind of, okay, how does it actually work? And then you just keep reading, and I've been doing this like 10 years now. Anyway. But let's get
to
into
this
some of
first one.
those scenes.
The first one's real quick.
Let's get to
so
some of
everyone's
the
just like
scenes.
pay attention. First one's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. This is my overall gripe with Hollywood. What happened in this scene was the noise that they put over it was not the noise that is made when you close the barrel on a double barrel shotgun. It's not the noise that happens. It's more the noise of when you pump, when you have a pump action or a gun just the pulling of that pump, chambering around. That is that noise. It's just lazy sound design. Again, no one really cared. I'm sure 90% of the people who watched this film did not care. I'm sure 90% of the gun nuts who watched this film didn't care.
Right.
We link this back to Jesse James, where the gun armorer did take. We remember he didn't take the. Remember we did we counted the shots, and I told you about the 5-shot, 6-shot thing with the cowboy style. They could have. It was something that, again, not a lot of people may have noticed. Not a lot of people did notice. It's something that I wish they had done. I wish they pay more attention to these gun things, because if you're gonna have them, do them right. You know.
Yeah, it's so prevalent.
I mean,
the
I
next
think
scene-
I disagree. I disagree with your point that it doesn't matter or nobody cares. I mean, sound immersion is so important. Imagine you're seeing a truck go by and the truck horns, but it sounds like a Toyota. That's going to throw you off.
Yeah.
Right? I disagree with the notion that, this does not... I may not know about guns, right? But I'm pretty sure we are, as a society, are not as exposed to gun sounds as much as somebody probably from America might be, because it's so easily attainable over there. right? Everybody's got guns there. It's one of their rights in the Constitution. I'm pretty sure for them it's more of a they're so used to sound effects of guns probably that for them it might throw them off more. For us it might not, but yet it still does, I think. So I think it's very important to have these sort of little details. It's very important for immersion.
So this is when Ramos decides he's going to commit suicide because he was involved in his daughter's kidnapping for some money, which, yikes. Also, what a room. I love how neither of us have talked about the room. It's
Yeah, the
such
set
a
design,
heavy
they-
room.
They
And
genuinely
it's
did
a
make this
fire
room.
hazard. It's a fire hazard. There's so many candles in a house.
Okay, zoom in into the close up into this,
Mm-hmm.
into the second zoom in to know it's loaded, and then a click.
Yeah. So why
what's your point
I had Ali clip the scene is, again, this is a legitimate, again, this is good gun knowledge. You can load magazine fed pistols by single loading them through the chamber. It's not highly advised, but it can be done. And then this is going to tie into the next scene that I know Ali's already brought up. Yes. Now, when Ramos does off himself, the gun again has no magazine, but you see the slide locks open. Now, on most guns, most pistols, the slide locks open on the last round. And it happens because the magazines have a very specific design feature. They've got this thing called a follower that pushes the bullets up as the spring goes up. And the follower's
Right.
got a little tab and an indentation that helps activate the slide lock on the last slide. This could not have happened if there's no magazine in the gun. So this is also just a set design fault because they wanted to make it a cinematic, oh, wow, you know, this. And again, they could have had this scene if they just made him load it the normal way that most normal people who've only held a gun once in their life would do, is they grab the magazine, they load the bullet, and
You,
poop,
you get
and
a
then
whole.
they could have had this
shook.
scene.
They could have had like a slide with the cocking the pistol as well.
I mean, that would, yeah, they could have done but again, I'm nitpicking for the one fan that's going to appreciate my nitpicking, but it is something I feel like, again, gun design, gun use, the armors on set, the people who train. Denzel, for this film, actually, he trained with bodyguards. So fun fact, because all the filming was done in Mexico City, and it was done, it was done in Mexico City. Mexico City, again, might be a lovely place, and I'm sure it is. I know a few people from Mexico. But the thing is, it's a high crime rate place, and especially back in 2004. The director was actually held at gunpoint while scouting one of the locations for one of the
Right.
shoots. So it's a dicey place. So they needed a lot of bodyguards, and Denzel trained with some of those bodyguards. So a lot of his mannerisms and actions in the film are pretty solid because he's trained with bodyguards. He would be able to choreograph, this is how they walk, this is how they this is how do they do that, all
Yeah.
that stuff. Okay.
So Muskan mentioned this one thing, which is that she would have preferred if the film had focused more on the relationship dynamic and the bond between Dakota Fanning's character of Peta and Denzel Washington's character of John Creasy. And I kind of agree with her in that regard, which is that the way the film ended, I was quite taken aback and surprised by how it ended. I wasn't satisfied by how it ended, which
Right.
is the way it ends is, and this ties back to my original point, which is that it's framed so much like it's a true story that I was completely dissatisfied with the ending. I felt like it should have been John Creasy to take him down. And the reason for that is because when you frame it as such a realistic thing, that there are such high stakes, it becomes less about two individual people and more about a broader scope about
Right.
how this thing affects many more people. And I think there was a scene in that club where Denzel thinks Dakota Fanning is alive and he sees another girl who is going through the same thing that she is, and he saves her. I feel like that was a moment where he should have had like, okay, this isn't just about one kid, this is about
Every
a
kid.
lot of kids. This is way bigger than I thought. This is way bigger than just me and the kid I was responsible for. I need to emancipate all these other people. I need to take down the entire system. They went from this is a big picture thing that affects real things to okay, now this is a bond about two people to okay, it's bigger than two people because he has to save this other girl as well, to
Right.
back to this is just about two people, which ties into Muskan's point. And I'm like, I didn't like that. I would have liked to have seen that this is much more of a big picture kind of thing, and the villain gets what it's coming to him. And it didn't, the way that they show, okay, eventually that AFI director did shoot him, the bad guy. I wasn't satisfied with that ending. I don't know.
Okay.
That's just me, maybe.
There was one major aspect of the film that I was really iffy about, and I was continuously iffy about, is simply because it was like, it infantilizes you. It constantly is trying to make you like, oh, did you notice this? Did you see that? And especially in the way it was
Yes.
doing its editing. Uh, let's start with a very egregious one, with
Yes,
something
please.
that Mahir clipped, and then I'll go on from there from my own points.
Cell phone.
I hated this
Just
guy's
wait around for
haircut.
calls and we don't even have a fucking number.
Who pays you?
We got an ATM card. We take out 200 fucking measly dollars every 2 weeks.
That it just pauses us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Random pause onto him. Now we have the
pin
double
number,
exposure.
number,
It's 4747.
4747.
And then what? What does that even mean? You know?
God,
Yeah.
Just 4747 is just his. It's a freeze frame of Denzel's face. It made no sense to me.
And
Yeah,
but like the
it's-
freeze
you
frame
know-
on the debit card, just so you know. Look, he has the
Yeah.
debit card. And like in the previous episode, we were talking
gets
about how
annoying.
Frankenstein was like, oh, beating you over the head about the monster, and what that features
Yeah.
the monster, not
Yeah.
the creature, or whatever. Because I had to say it out loud. It's been this garbage has been going on for a while. We blame Netflix because it's like what's in front of us right now.
But this happened before Netflix.
This
was
is
happening way
2004.
before
I mean, Netflix was there at that point, but it was like it would only sell DVDs to people.
It wasn't. Yeah.
Like, okay, so they had to introduce that
No, no,
reporter
go ahead.
3 different times. Okay, maybe the first time you didn't know Spanish, when she raised her hand, but you saw her raise her hand to the police commissioner and be like, ask a question in Spanish. Okay, but maybe you didn't know Spanish. Second time, Christopher Walken literally goes, "That's Lois Lane. That's the reporter for whatever." And then the third
Yeah.
time, she goes up to introduce herself to Creasy. And the thing is, okay, fine. Now we're somehow really deep into realism, how this is like very realistic for us. But this is not good script writing. The fact that you have to introduce the same
It's
character
lazy
3
script
different
writing, yeah.
times, it's really not good. The fact that Creasy already knows, you could have just interrupted her. He had a really good aura farming chance. Be like, I already know who you are, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was like super simple. He
Yeah.
could Batman his way through it. But you let her. I don't know. The relationship with how Peter increases the relationship as it grows is the fact that it's so obvious and it's so disappointing on that sense. Like, I guess it was to push the story forward, but it's so obvious. And the major example is that I give to is a really good one is for in Breaking Bad. You don't know when it stops being Walter White and he's turned into
Yeah.
Heisenberg. You don't know it. You can
Yeah.
never feel it because it's a continuous
Yeah.
form of a million choices that leads him to become Heisenberg by the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Here, when they're at the pool the first time, he's at the pool. He gives his hand for Peter to come up, and it's a slow motion shot of his hand going down, and he gets it, and it's so obvious. Like, okay, after this point, that's a turning point, right? Now they're gonna be close, and then at the competition, the nun, straight up just goes,
Yeah.
"Oh, today you're her father." Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You don't.
Looks like
What
I'm
is
the
going
dumbass.
on?
I didn't understand this. My bad. I wasn't watching the movie actually.
Yeah. Listen,
I mean,
think
how
this
could
movie
you?
was
It blinds
designed.
you.
Can I actually, now that you've said it, can I tell you something? I think this movie was designed for cable television, where you could leave it at any point in time, come back in any point in time, and you'll know what's going on
Honestly,
because they're beating you over the head and
That's a
telling you.
really,
This
really
is-
good point.
So you're telling me if you
Overall-
watched movies, this movie sucks. But if you haven't watched a movie before in your life, this is the greatest movie of all time. Why are you muted?
To be fair, I think anything is the greatest thing you'll ever see in your life if it's the first thing you'll ever see in your life. I don't know.
And if you like this
but
movie,
to be-
it's okay. It's a good
It's
thing.
okay. It's okay. We're not gonna shit on you. It's a good.
What? You're mudded. You're silent.
My headphones died. Oh, his headphones died.
So you
He
can't talk. So we're gonna spin the wheel. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, guys.
Okay, hold on. Let me do my transition like I did last time. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Wait.
Wait.
Be
We're
silent.
actually spinning the wheel, so we need movie choices. By the way, we're actually.
Wait, can I
spinning the wheel.
get the transition
vetoing.
done with? Can I get the
Okay,
transition
okay.
done with? So we can.
Oh,
Can I
God,
get the
okay.
transition done with? Let me segue, please.
Okay, Ali.
You know, regardless of what we think of the film, it is significantly better than Breaking Bad because it doesn't have that garbage Mexico piss filter. Anyways, spin the wheel. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
All right, spin da wheel.
Wheel. Okay.
Wheel.
Spinning.
Spin.
Whoa. Who won?
Oh.
I'm so tired. I'm so tired. This is another fan suggestion. Can we...
Wait.
Listen,
Mahir's trying to
Mahir's
say
saying
something. Mahir's trying to say something.
One.
This movie is good.
Good. Have you seen it? We're rolling in.
Ali, don't use that as an excuse. No, Ali, no. It's a fan suggestion.
Fine.
And it's the fan suggestion that won.
Okay. Thank you for watching, everyone. Next week, we're going to be watching Tick, Tick,
Thank
Boom,
you.
the Andrew Garfield film.
Tick, boom.
If you stayed this far, I can't believe it. Mahir is no longer speaking because he's in lockdown and he might get shot or the voice is going after him. Man, this episode sucks. I'm so sorry. This is actually a terrible episode.
Honestly, this episode is not too bad. I
This
feel
is
like my
awful.
analysis of something was... No, this was a pretty fun episode. But I am excited
and
for Tick, Tick,
Muskan,
Boom,
we are
guys.
so sorry. If you're a feature fan for Tick, Tick, Boom, it won't be this terrible. Our setup will be fine. It'll be back at my place if the Strait of Hormuz opens, and then we can get petrol again.
Way not to be political, Ali. World's fine. What
Bye
the fuck
bye,
you want,
everyone.
Maya?
Bye bye. He's trying to sign off.
Bye.
He's telling you to shut up,
All right,
or
bye,
he's trying
guys.
to sign off. Okay, bye bye, everyone.
Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye, guys.